welcome. We have a 60-minute upper body class coming at you today. So we will focus on all aspects of the upper body, including our core. Typically, if you've taken this class, we have a separate core section, but it's going to be part of the regular workout today. So equipment that you will need today.
One of these longer bands. It doesn't have to have handles. It can be one of those long stretchy ones as well. But we'll be using them for the last move today. Also, you will need a chair, weights, and a mat.
All right. Let's start with that scripture verse. Psalm 38:9. Lord, all my desire is before you, and my sign is not hidden from you. So this is all about basically delighting in Him, and He will give us the secret desires of our heart. We'll go through more of that as we get into the workout, which we will start right now. All right, we shall get started with the warm-up. All right, here we go. Start with just a little step touch and a shoulder roll. Excellent. Roll in the other direction. Great job. All right, we're gonna reach it up. You can crisscross those hands in front. Our goal here is just to warm up the entire body, especially the parts of the upper body that we will be working, which is all of it. All right, give me a little hamstring curl and pull those arms back. Sometimes it helps to warm up those bigger muscles with the littler muscles just to get more warmed up. So for today's class, we'll be doing 2 different movements in one set. Will be 6 moves total in that set, 3 of each one. All right, I want you to step and reach. Give me that little torso twist. In between the set, we'll have 40 seconds where I will demonstrate the next couple moves, and you can let your muscles recover before we go on to the next thing. I know sometimes standing around waiting for the next move can feel like forever, but it's actually good to give your muscles that little bit of a break, okay? Just trust me. I know what I'm doing. All right, come to the back of your mat. Just gonna walk our hands down all the way to the mat. Walk your hands all the way to the top. Come into a plank position. I want you to drop down to your knees. Take your hands wide on your mat. Give me a couple push-ups here. We'll do 3, 2, 1. Push it back on up to plank. Walk those hands back into narrow, and then walk them back to your feet. From here, roll it up. Give those shoulders a couple more rolls. We're gonna go right back down. Walk those hands out. Keep your hands narrow this time. So no wider than your shoulders. 3 little tricep push-ups. You should feel your elbows as you lower and lift. Come back up to that plank. I just want you to reach one hand forward, tap it down, reach the other hand forward, tap it down. Try not to tip your hips too much. Try and keep them nice and centered as you lift up. Excellent. Walk those hands back to the feet. We're gonna walk it out one more time. Come down to your knees. We're gonna warm up that torso in a little cat-cow. So I want you to round up your spine. Exhale, push out your chest. Inhale, round up the spine. Exhale, push out the chest. A couple more like that. You can move at your own pace with your breath. All right, from here, come back to that plank. Walk those hands back to the feet. Roll it up. Big circles here. Nice and big. Go ahead, reverse, other direction. We're gonna go to little circles next. Little circles here. Excellent. Go ahead, switch directions. Take those legs super wide here. I just want you to reach down and then pull that arm back. Reach it down, pull it back. I like to imagine it's like I'm catching something behind me and then I'm bringing it down to the floor. Kind of helps get that midsection warmed up as well as that shoulder. Go ahead, switch the other side. Reach it down, catch that ball. Catch that baby. I don't know what you're catching, but catch it. All right, we're gonna switch gears here. I'm just gonna show you the first two moves. First move, I want you to go heavy. I'm gonna go with my 25s. You might not have anything that heavy, that's okay. You're gonna take that grip facing you. You're just gonna roll it up to your chest or your rib cage and drop it back down. Second move, light weights. So I'll be using 5s for this. Palms face you in front of your eyes. Open it wide to a goalpost. Push it up overhead. Bring it back. Flip it in front. We start with that row. Here we go. Guys, 1. Here we go. Row it up. Pull it down. So check it out here. I'm hinged forward from the hip. My shoulders are still squared, so they're not rounded forward. You gotta make sure your core is nice and engaged. You should feel this in your back. Keep breathing through it here. Just roll it up to that rib cage. Staying hinged forward. Slight bend in that knee.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest. Grab that lighter set of weights. We're gonna go into that Arnold press. We start, I call it sunglasses.
3, 2,
Palms facing
1.
your face.
Exercise
Sunglasses, goalpost, overhead press. Goalpost, sunglasses. Just like that. Keep working through the motion. So normally, for this next round that we're gonna do, we would do an isometric hold, and actually we will do that for the row if you want it. But for pulses, we will not be doing that for a row, but we will do it with our Arnold press. So you mentally can prepare.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest. Grab your heavier weights. Option to move through this just like we did that last time, or you come
3,
here and you hold.
2, 1. Exercise 2.
Hold it here. So I'm still hinged forward. I am just holding those weights here, right by my rib cage. Not letting them drop. Remember though, maybe you're like, you know what, Sarah, I don't like these isometric holds. Then just slow it down a little bit for me. And come there, okay? Just slow it down, but keep moving. Keep holding. 3,
3,
2, 1. Drop it down.
rest.
All right. Grab those light weights again. We're gonna slow this one down.
3, 2.
Follow along with me.
Exercise 1.
Hold. Open and hold. Lift it up, hold. Bring it down, hold. Rotate it in, hold. So I just want you to take this kind of slow pace for me with a little pause at each different location. Remember our verse was Psalm 38:9. Lord, all my desire is before you, and my sign is not hidden from you. So that's just a reminder that whatever your desires are,
3,
God knows about them.
1.
Rest. All right. Do whatever pace you want to do for these rows.
3,
You can alternate
2,
arms
1.
or just do them
Exercise
regular.
2.
So you could be here. You could opt to do one and then the other. Or you can just really slow it down. However you feel right to do it. I'm going to stay here at a regular pace. Remember, we're hinged forward. That chest is lifted so those shoulders stay up and back. They're not rounded forward. So what that verse is really trying to say is basically relax and let him take care of the rest. He knows your desires. He knows what your heart longs for.
3, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Okay, grab your lighter weights. We're gonna go to that Arnold press next. We're gonna add a little pulse
3,
when we come to this
2,
little goalpost.
1. Exercise
Sunglasses,
2.
pulsing goalpost. Bring it up. Pulses, sunglasses. Pulses, up. Pulses, sunglasses. I just call them my sunglasses because they're in front of my eyes. But as we talked about, he knows your desires and he wants the best for you. I want you to believe that God does want the best for you. So sometimes his answer is no, because not all our desires
3,
are from him.
2, 1.
Rest. Whew, we live in a broken world, right? Sometimes our desires do not align with his. We're gonna do crossbody curls for our first move. So pull that arm across the body, tapping that chest or collarbone, bringing it back down, taking the other arm, crossing, and you just continue crossing the body there and go with something heavy to medium heavy. So I can't go as heavy as I could for my back as I can for my biceps. The second move, we're gonna be doing tricep dips. You can either grab a chair or do them on the ground. If you don't have a chair, they can be done on the ground. If you do have a chair though, you just come off the edge, bend your elbows, and then straighten the arms. That's it. If you were doing them on the floor, here, I'll do them really quick before that timer goes off. Come into a tabletop reverse. Just bend and straighten the elbows. Here we go. Reverse crossbody curls. I just need you to tap that shoulder. Here's what I need you to do right now. Check in with those shoulders. Make sure they're up and back. Check that your core is nice and engaged. So braced up, like the way you would brace it if someone was about to punch it. And make sure there's no swinging motion. What I mean is you don't want this, right? We want nice and controlled, lift it up, lower down. So that top part of the arm hardly really even moves.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest.
Rest.
If you're using that chair, grab that now. Otherwise, come down to the floor into that reverse tabletop. The way we'll do our dips.
2, 1.
Here we go.
Exercise 2.
Drop it down, lift it up. Excellent. Now, if this ever gets too easy, go ahead and throw a weight right here on your hips, or you can lift up a leg and about 20 seconds in, go ahead and switch that leg. Don't lift just one leg and leave it there, unless you plan on doing the other one for the second set, okay? We want to keep our bodies
3,
in equilibrium.
1.
Go ahead and rest. Grab that set of weights that you were using for those bicep curls. This time I want you to slow it down. We're gonna bring it up for 3, 2, 1. Bring it down for 3, 2, 1. Same thing on the other side. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Now you can continue to count for 3, up and down. Or if you're pretty good about just keeping a slower pace, feel free, you don't have to count. But it is helpful if you have a tendency, like me, to speed up when you don't mean to. Sometimes we just need that little reminder, like, oh wait, you're going too fast.
1.
Go ahead and rest. Okay, we're coming back to those dips. Get set up. You're either in that reverse tabletop like I showed, or you're just right off the chair.
Exercise
We're
2.
gonna hold it here. So if you can, hover and hold. So there should be a bend in your elbow as you hang out with me here for this 40 seconds. If at any point you just feel like you can't take it any longer, count to 5 and then give yourself a break and come back in. But do that count to 5, okay? So say I was about to give up, I'd say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give myself a quick rest and then come back in. I just want you to challenge yourself those extra 5 seconds, even if you feel like you're at your breaking point, okay?
3,
2, 1. Go ahead and rest. Grab those weights for curls. We're gonna pulse for 3. So a little cross body. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Exercise 1.
3, 2, 1. Drop it down. 3, 2, 1. Just give me 3 little shaker weight pulses at the top as you switch between. Yes, you're doing great. Hang in there. As we were talking about, we all have desires in our hearts that God knows about, right? So what are you trying to get for yourself without God's help? Is there anything you're striving for right now that you're trying to do separate from God?
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest.
Rest.
It's gonna be pulses with those dips, okay?
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Exercise 2.
This is the hardest one for me, the pulses. So if you are being honest with yourself and you know, yeah, there's an area of my life that I'm kind of trying to do it by myself in my own power, in my own strength. That's something I have to admit that I've done before with Boom Fitness. I've tried really hard to make it successful in my own strength. But God has a way of humbling you and letting you know that without Him, nothing is possible. You'll just strive and strive and strive and feel rejection and disappointment.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. And get your chair out of here. That's not to say that if you do it with Him, you won't find rejection and disappointment, because sometimes He will grow you that way. All right, heavier set of weights. I'm gonna try those 25s again. We'll see how it goes. For chest press, and then have a lighter set of weights, maybe a 8 or a 5 nearby for the second move. So chest press, palms face away, start up narrow. You're gonna bring them down and make a goal pose. So you have 2 L shapes on your side, and then you push it straight up. Second move, just grab a singular weight. I don't want it to be super heavy, okay? It could be a little weighted ball. We're gonna do Russian twist. Option to have those feet off the floor or keep them on the floor, or you can ditch the weight altogether and do body weight. We start with that chest press though. Here we go. Now, if you have a regular bench that you would use for weightlifting, feel free to do these chest presses, and I'll show you a few other moves today on your bench, but it works just fine to do these on the floor. I never purchased like a gym quality bench. I just have a little step basically, and only half of my body fits on it, so it's not ideal for this.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest.
Rest.
Okay, drop those weights. Grab that singular one. I want you to come up onto your sit bones. Your feet can stay on the ground or lift up. So you're either here, like you're rowing a little kayak, or you lift your feet up and you come here. Make sure you put your weights far enough to the side that when you're swinging side to side, you're not gonna run into them. Mine are a little dangerously close. Hopefully you were smarter than me. But as we were talking about before, God knows those desires. He put them there in your heart. He knows what makes you tick. He knows what drives you.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Trust Him enough We're going back to that chest press with the hold. I'm just grabbing a drink. If you want one, you can grab one too.
3, 2, 1. Exercise 1.
Chest press hold. Here we go. Whew, if I can get my weights up, come into that goalpost, L shape, hover and hold. Hang out here with me. Suddenly we went to isometric and these weights feel 1,000 times heavier. So if that's you, you're in good company. You didn't lose your strength. Isometric is just hard. Keep breathing here, brace that core. Don't let those arms drop to the floor. Let them hover.
2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Whew. Push my weights out to the side a little bit more this time. Okay, Russian twist. I want you to slow it down.
3,
So
2,
really
1.
slow motion.
Exercise 2.
Dig deep. Come up. Dig deep. Maybe you even want to lift it up a little bit and then dig it down. That's a great option. Maybe you don't like having your feet off the ground. That's okay. They can be planted firmly on the ground, and I don't have a problem with that. Go within your strength, your ability, what you're comfortable with, but always still challenge yourself. Maybe you've never tried it with your feet off the ground. Maybe
3,
try a few seconds.
2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
It's always good to try new things. Okay, this last round is pulses, so you're in that goal pose
3,
shape, pulsing those arms up and
1.
down, little 1-inch
Exercise
pulses.
1.
Little pulses. It's always a challenge just to get these weights up after they've been on the floor. Takes a little bit of forearm strength just to do that. Now this one's gonna feel the hardest, okay? Dig deep here. Be strong and courageous. The Lord is with you. Call out to Him. When you're struggling, when it feels like too much, even just in your workout, call out to Him. He's there for you. He wants to help you.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
He wants to give you strength, okay? Don't doubt that for even a minute.
3,
We're gonna
2,
pulse on the side.
1. Exercise 2.
Pulse, 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 pulse. Again, you don't have to do that little press. I'm choosing to. You could be here. Pulse, 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 pulse. I'm choosing to push it up in between. Add a little bit of shoulder in there. You don't have to add it if you don't want it. Woo! Keep pushing for me. Yes, we're almost there.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest. All right, we've got reverse fly, hammer curl. So you can probably attempt to use the same weight for the reverse fly and the hammer curl, but you may need a lighter weight for the reverse fly than you do for your hammer curl. Hammer curl, palms face each other, curl it up to the collarbone, straight back down, nice and controlled. Shoulders are up, back and down. Keep those shoulders there. We're gonna hinge it forward from the hips, and you're just gonna fly those arms up, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Like so. So those shoulder blades just retract, come towards each other, and pull back down together. Feel free, this is a great time to grab a drink of water or towel off. Here we go. Hammer curls. You could always come to single arm as well. Kind of engages the core a little bit more, but I'd say it's a little bit easier because you're only doing one arm at a time, so you're giving the other arm a break in between. Now check it out, check my shoulders. I'm not arching, so sometimes I'll see this. Try and get that weight up. We don't want that. If that's happening, I'd ask you to drop down to a lighter weight. You should be slow and controlled
3,
with no
1.
core
Rest.
arching it up, okay? Reverse fly. You may need to go down a little bit lighter for this one. I'm gonna try with the same weight and see how it goes.
2,
All right, hinge it forward.
Exercise 2.
Fly it up. I'm gonna turn to the side. So just like that bent over row we did in the beginning, it's the same idea with this bent over position. This time we're just lifting those arms up. So remember, there's a little bend in that elbow. They are not straight. I like to pretend I'm catching something with my shoulder blades behind me. So those shoulder blades retract, and I pretend I'm catching something when I bring my shoulders together.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Go ahead and rest. I'm gonna go back to that hammer curl, but we're either gonna slow it down or hold isometrically. Either one is fine.
Exercise 1.
So you're either here, just holding that contraction, or nice and slow, bringing it up and down. I'm gonna move through it, but you can hold it. If it helps to slow you down, count to 4. 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. We don't want to have to arch to get the weight up, but I still want this to be hard, right? I don't want this to be like you could do this all day long. It should feel hard.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Excellent. We go to that reverse fly again. Whew.
3,
Remember, hinge from the hip.
1.
Keep those shoulders
Exercise 2.
lifted. So I'm not slouching forward. They are back. We're not gonna hold this one or do any isometric movement or even slow it down. I've tried it, it doesn't work. Whew. This is really a challenge for me. I don't usually go this heavy with my reverse flies, but decided to challenge myself. These are 15s, I usually do 10. Maybe today's the day you challenge yourself. What better day to do it?
1.
Rest.
Rest.
All right. Hammer curl, pulses. So you're just right here, pulsing those weights.
1.
Here we go.
Exercise 1.
Let's say our verse again. Psalm 38:9. Lord, all my desire is before you, and my sign is not hidden from you. Well, if you find yourself trying to do things in your own strength, not relying on the Lord to help you in whatever you're trying to do, I want you to try and remind yourself what's important and trust Him to remove things that aren't His will. Keep going.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest.
Rest.
Whew. You can always shake out those arms in between. Just helps to get that blood flowing, that lactic
3,
acid buildup
2,
moving.
1.
Here we go.
Exercise
Reverse
2.
fly. I like to think of this as the Michael Phelps move. It's kind of like you're doing that butterfly stroke, right? Whew. This one's getting real tough. Like I said, I don't usually go this heavy, but you got to start one day. You got to pick a day that you go a little heavier. You try a little bit more than you're used to. That's when you get stronger. It's gonna feel harder. It's not gonna be the best day ever. You're not gonna be able to do as many reps maybe. That's okay.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. Whew, shake it out. Grab a drink if you like. We got our next set of moves. I'm gonna use a little heavier for this next one. I'm just gonna go to my 20s. I don't think that 25 is gonna work for me. And I may drop back down to my 15. But we'll try it here. First move, we're gonna be down on the ground. Skull crusher. Palms face each other. They're in a narrow grip, so shoulder distance apart. All you're gonna do, bend your elbows, straighten those arms back up. That's it. Second move, chest fly. So this time your arms come out wide, just like that reverse fly. They're out to the side, and you just pull them together at the top, feeling that chest squeezing as you lift those weights together, okay? I like to think of it as flapping my wings. And maybe it'd be a reminder that angels are always with us. Skull crusher. Remember, narrow hands, bend the elbow, straighten it back up. I was recently informed by somebody that you have some carotid issues. So doing this motion, bending it towards your forehead didn't work for them. If that's you, feel free to just come to a narrow press, push up and down, okay? Otherwise, stick with me here. Whew. 20s were ambitious. We're gonna keep going, but let's just say that they're pretty ambitious for me right now.
2, 1.
Rest. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta be ambitious because that's where the change happens, right?
3,
Here we go.
1. Exercise 2.
So going back to our verse, talking about trying to do things, we're in our chest fly here. Palms face each other. Trying to do things in your own strength. I want you to think, be real honest with yourself. What do you need to submit to the Lord? What do you know that you're white knuckling and you're not letting him take charge of? Do you trust that he wants the best for you? Do you trust that he knows the desires of your heart and wants that for you? Do you trust that if he's saying no, probably means there's something better, or whatever you're going for maybe isn't good for
3,
you?
2, 1.
Go ahead and rest. That can be a hard pill to swallow sometimes because we just want what we want.
3, 2,
Narrow press,
1.
isometric,
Exercise 1.
skull crusher, isometric hold. Make sure you got a good grip because that weight is hovering right above your forehead. So if that weight is too heavy for you, at least keep it off to the side of your head. I don't want any injuries. If you need to, you can always come back up for a second, take a little break, and come back down, okay? That may or may not have been just for me because my arms are dying. Woo! All right, guys, 10 more seconds here. We can do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Y'all, that was crazy. Shake out my hands a little bit here. Chest fly, hold it wide,
1.
let it
Exercise
hover.
2.
If you've taken my class before, I like to say let a family of ants underneath your arms, but that's it. That's how close your arms are to the floor. So we're not up here, we're down here, okay? Woo. And remember, not all our desires are from God. We live in a fallen world. There's probably things that you want, things that you desire that you know are no good for you. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe it's men or women.
3, 2,
Woo.
1.
Rest.
Rest.
Maybe it's approval. Whatever it is, deep down I think you probably know. I'm gonna go a little lighter for these pulses.
1.
Skull crusher pulses.
Exercise 1.
Yeah, that was a good choice. Even these are pretty tough with 5 pounds less. So you're just coming to that bent elbow, little 1-inch movement up and down. You're doing so good. We've worked so hard already, and you're doing great. Woo! We got 4 more sets left. If you need a little break here, you can always come up and then come back down to those pulses. I know these pulses are just killer. Cry out to the Lord during this time. This is your time of worship. It doesn't have to be separate from God.
2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
So often we put God in this little box, like, well, when I sing at church or when I read my Bible, that's my worship time. Make this your worship time.
Exercise 2.
Here we go. Have a little chat with him right now. Let him know we're pulsing that chest fly. Let him know that your arms are burning. Let him know that you could use his strength right now. That you would love to feel his presence. To let him show you that you're there. He's there with you. He is. Ask him, Lord, show me your presence. Let me feel that you are near to me. Give me strength to finish this. Be my strength. Not by my strength,
3,
but by his.
2, 1.
Rest. Excellent. You order yourself a little water break if you want it. This next set, we are gonna go with light weights, okay? It's gonna be shoulder and core for this section. So I'm actually gonna go with my little pinkies. That's what I like to call them. We're gonna lay flat on the floor. Arms come out to the side in a T shape. Lift them up, lower them down. Little T raise, okay? For the second move, you'll have to quickly flip over. Now you have the option, if you would like, to make this a weighted V-up, which will involve some of your back. So you could be here for your V-up, or here, or modified would be here, okay? We start with that T-raise on your stomach, arms out to the side, lift it up and down. Now I picked super light weights. I probably could have gone a little bit heavier, and depending on how it goes, I might go up for the next round. But I was just kind of taking it easy for this first round. Keep lifting and lowering. Your arms don't need to go super high. Don't overextend that shoulder. Just lift them up and down.
2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Now I'm going to show the V-up with a weight, but that doesn't mean you need to use one. You can
3,
take it out, okay?
2, 1.
Here we go.
Exercise 2.
So it actually becomes a V-up and a lat pullover. But maybe you're like, you know what, Sarah, this one doesn't feel right to me. I don't like how it feels. Maybe it bothers your shoulders. Well, then I would just suggest take the weight out of it. Just use your body weight and just focus on your core strength here. And if you're like, I just literally can't do it, you could come here, crunch it up, and drop it down. You've got so many options. Maybe you don't come all the way down to the ground. That's okay too.
Rest.
Go ahead and rest. Flip it back over. We are gonna hold this time. So this is gonna be that isometric
3,
hold
2,
in that T shape.
Exercise 1.
You're basically like Superman flew with arms in a T shape instead of out in front. My best description I got for you. Not quite airplane arms because they're just directly out to the side. Airplane arms are more here, okay? You have the option here, if you want to add a little bit more back into it, you can lift those legs off the ground like you're doing a Superman. You do not have to. I'm choosing to do that, but if you don't feel like it, they can be here on the ground.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
All right, for the second time through, I want you to slow these down a little bit, and I'm actually
3,
gonna start off with no weight just to show you that it's okay
Exercise 2.
to not use it, but feel free to still use it. Slow it down. Really use that core strength to slowly lower those legs and slowly lower those arms. Maybe you're like, you know what? I don't feel like that's enough. I want that weight in there. Bring it back in. Really slow, slow it down.
2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
All right, come back to that T-raise. We will pulse
3,
this time.
2.
Little 1-inch
1.
movement up and down.
Exercise 1.
Come into your T. Little pulses. I want you looking down at your mat right now. So I don't want you arching your face up towards the screen you're looking at. Keep your head down. I will tell you when the time is up. It's gonna be real hard on your neck if you have it arched up, okay? Keep it down. Give me that neutral spine. Keep breathing here. I know if you went 5 or up, you're feeling this big time right now. I went a little bit nice to myself today. Probably should have gone heavier.
3,
2, 1. Go ahead, rest.
rest.
That's neither here nor there. Okay. This time we're gonna pulse at the top. So if you're doing no weight, pulse, pulse, down, pulse, pulse. And I'm just doing 2 pulses. Pulse, pulse. This is it with weights. A little pulse crunch at the top. Keep breathing. Do not hold your breath here. Breathe out at the top. Breathing in down when you do lower.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest. All right. Grab a drink of water if you'd like one. Whew. We are gonna go boat with bicep curls. Whew. And push-ups. So I want you to grab whatever weight you've been using for biceps. So that's my 15s. That's what I've been using. You're gonna come back to those sit bones. Your feet can be on the ground or they can be up. I'll show it with them down. You just curl that weight up and curl it down. I don't want you standing up tall. I want you sitting back, kind of balancing there on those sit bones. Curl it up, curl it down. It's harder with the feet up. Second move, you'll just flip it over. Take those hands wide on the mat, either knees or toes. Give me a little push up, bringing that chest to elbow height. All right, boats and biceps. Oh, here's a few. And just a regular bicep curl. So those palms are facing you. Maybe you're like, you know what, Sarah, I just really can't balance. Keep those feet on the ground, that's okay. Lean it back though, even if you're on the floor with your feet. I don't want you here. I want you here. Maybe try a few seconds with your feet off the floor. See how it feels.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Woo! Push-ups are next. Get set up. Gotta flip it over.
3, 2.
Here we go. Knees or toes.
Exercise 2.
Maybe try one, at least one on your toes. Do as many until you can't do any more on your toes. I can't do a whole lot there, but it's good practice to try a few. One of these days, I'm gonna get the strength here, and these will just be easy. Today's not that day. Keep pushing.
3, 2, 1.
And rest. Flip it back over. Boats and biceps. Gloves are coming off. Here we go.
1.
Palms face you.
Exercise 1.
You can keep your feet on the ground. I think I might for this round. Slow it down though with those bicep curls. Whatever pace you were at, I want you to go a lot slower. It's always, in my opinion, harder to go slower. For one, it takes concentration to remember that you're not speeding through it, but also that muscle just really has to move in such a controlled fashion.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. Flip it back over for push-ups. We're gonna hold. This is our isometric round, okay? For that one, we just slowed it down. For this one, we're gonna hold. Come into that modified or up on your toes. Hover and hold. So even if you're on your knees, and make sure your hips aren't like way up here. If you do need to modify more, you can always come into a tabletop push-up. But I want you to work your way here. Maybe try a few seconds up on your toes. Like a push-up plank. Woo! I'm feeling this. My arms are literally shaking.
2, 1.
Go ahead and rest.
Rest.
We've got pulses next. And hey, if you normally can do them on your feet, but your toes and you're finding yourself struggling.
1.
All right,
Exercise 1.
pulses here. Sorry, I'm dealing with an untied shoe. Little pulses. So for those push-ups, when we've already done all that chest work, and you're towards the end of your workout, you're not weak because maybe you had to come down to your knees. Your body's probably just in a state of fatigue at this point. We're still pulsing. Think shaker weights, okay? You've all seen that infomercial, right? We're making our own today, our own little shaker weights.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Whew. Flip it back over. Pulsing push-ups. I know. The dreaded P word.
2,
Here we go.
1. Exercise 2.
Maybe you don't dread pulses. Maybe you're like, yeah, pulses. When it's legs, I usually think, yeah, pulses. But I gotta be honest with you. Upper body is where I've kind of always struggled a little bit. Growing up, I had some body issues where I thought it was too manly to lift weights, and so I just avoided it even when my teachers or coaches would make me do it. But clearly, I don't think that way anymore. My goal is to get stronger, to get
3,
fitter,
2, 1.
rest, and not worry about what society says I should or shouldn't look like, right? 2 different sets of weights for this last round. First move is tricep kickbacks. So again, shoulders up, back down, hinge forward from the hips. Elbows come up like we did in that row, but now open and close the elbow, okay? Second move, lighter set of weights. I'm gonna go with my 5s. We're gonna lift palms facing away from you. We're gonna lift it up overhead and then back down to center. Option to stop halfway if that bothers your shoulders. Excuse me. We start with the kickbacks though. Get your heavier set ready. Remember, shoulders up, back and down. Hinge it forward. Little kickbacks. So if my arm was a door frame, my elbow would be the hinge. So check it out. My upper arm is not moving. It stays stationary. So what I see sometimes is people being like this. We don't want swinging. Glue those arms to your side. Open and close the hinge. You're just bending, straightening the elbow, okay? Staying
3,
hinged forward.
2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Okay, switch to your lighter weights. Just trust me on that. Palms face away.
3,
Shoulders
2,
are back.
1.
Here we go.
Exercise 2.
Lift it up. Pull it down. God is on the move. On the move. Yes, he is. Feel free. If you're feeling the song, sing it out. God loves when you sing his praises. Whew. I like to think that angels dance in our presence when we sing God's praise. Do I know that for a fact? Nope. That's just what I like to think, okay?
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
All right. We're gonna hold those kickbacks, okay?
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Exercise
Hold it
1.
here. Those arms are straight. We're still hinged forward from the hips, so shoulders are back. They're not lounged forward. Chest is lifted. You're just hinged forward from that hip. Make sure there's a little bit of a bend in your knee. They're not locked out like so, okay? Try not to let those arms drop. See, mine came here. Gotta pull them back up, okay? Your arms are gonna wanna drop. Don't let them. Keep breathing.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest.
Rest.
Whew. All right, back to those circle lifts. We are going
3,
to stop
2,
at the midsection
1.
and stop in the
Exercise
at the
2.
top. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, keep counting for me. You can always stay here and take out that overhead
3,
extension.
2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Whew. Some people that might bother their shoulders, if that's you, take it out, okay? You have
3,
permission.
2,
We're gonna pulse.
1. Exercise
There's that
1.
P word again. That elbow just kind of hinges back. Move. Hallelujah. Sing it with me. You don't need to have a good voice to sing his praises. He gave you that voice. He knows. Just because other people might not like it doesn't mean you shouldn't sing it out. Woo! Keep it going.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Whew. Arms are pooped. All right. Circle lifts.
3, 2.
Pulses at the side.
Exercise 2.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to keep counting, but do 3 at each station. Remember, you can omit the overhead if it bothers you. Keep it going for me.
3, 2, 1.
And rest. All right. Feel free to grab a drink of water. Ignore that timer. There's still one more set. It's just confused. Our first move will be, we'll do side plank on one side, then we'll do the other side, and then we'll hold a plank. The other move, that's where you would grab that band I mentioned earlier. So I'm gonna put a band, and this doesn't have to have handles. Just grab a band, goes behind the feet. You're gonna lean back. If it's not tight enough, feel free, you can always crisscross, or you can double it around if you need to. You're just gonna row it back, pull it forward, row it back, feeling that back as you pull back, okay? We start with that side plank. I don't know if it's been enough time or not, but we are gonna start right now.
Exercise 1.
Side plank, pick a side. So you can be up on that wrist, down on that elbow. You can have one knee down. You can stack the feet. You can stagger the feet. Staggering is a little bit easier than stacking. Eventually, you can try lifting the leg. Woo. You know how it goes. Or you can stay right here. You don't ever have to lift the leg. But maybe you like that extra challenge. Feel free to add it in there.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Rest. Remember what side you're on. This was my left arm, so I'm going to do my right the next time.
3,
Grab that
2, 1.
band,
Exercise 2.
row it back. If all you have is a mini band, depending on the elasticity of it, you could make this work. Keep going. I'll try and show you with one of mine. One of the easier ones, maybe. You could come This one doesn't work. It's not loose enough. So hopefully you have one of these long bands.
1.
Rest.
Rest.
Okay, other side of that plank. Other side of that side plank, rather. Remember, if this bothers your wrist, just come to your elbow.
1. Exercise 1.
Woo, falling over. I personally don't like it on my elbow. I prefer it on my wrist. But you know what? I've had issues with my wrist before, in which case I came down to my elbow. Just listen to your body. If you're like, this is too hard, drop a knee down, okay? There's so many options. It's up to you to just pick the one that's right for you. Don't worry about what's right for someone else, even me, okay? Do what's right for you. Another option with that next move we're doing, if having it on your feet isn't enough resistance,
1. Rest.
find something. Not gonna move. Like I have a little weight rack here. I could loop it around here.
3.
I don't think no matter how hard I pull that it's gonna fall over.
Exercise 2.
So I could come here. That's giving me a little bit more resistance. I can back up a little bit more. Be careful wherever you're looping it that it's not gonna like break your band. And I want you to lean back a little bit, pull those elbows back. So this is a little bit harder for me because the band is a little bit further stretched out for me. Depending on the type of band you have, it might already be hard enough.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
All right, regular plank. You can take any variation you want or just hold a plank.
3, 2.
Elbows
1.
or rest.
Exercise 1.
Remember though, we want to keep our hips nice and low. I don't mean this low. We're not doing an inversion, but we don't want to be here in a down dog either, or in a half down dog. We want to be in a plank. We want to feel that core engaging. We want to let our core shake a little bit. Woo! We have one more move with that band, and we go right into our cool down. So pump yourself up to get through these last couple of moves. You're almost there.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and rest. Grab that band, whether it's around your feet or if it's attached to something. Maybe it's in a door
3,
frame.
2, 1.
Here we go.
Exercise 2.
Pull it back as far as you can. Feel those lats working. These lats, you build them up strong enough for what you really use. If you ever manage to do a pull-up. One day I hope to do one. I'm not even close right now. One day, that's my goal.
3, 2, 1.
All right, let's cool it down, okay? I want you to take the first move, come into a tabletop, take one arm, thread the needle through, drop that shoulder down. You'll feel this in your lats and your shoulder. It feels really good, especially after just doing those rows, but also from everything else we've done today. I want to congratulate you on making it to the cool down. Not everyone does. Some people turn it off halfway. Some people just give up on themselves. But you didn't. You pushed through and you made it to the end. Come back to tabletop. Switch the other arm. Drop that shoulder down. Just kind of breathe deep here. Really enjoy this time. I want you to keep holding. I'm just gonna switch it to something a little bit slower for our music. Keep holding. All right, come on back up. We're gonna go into a child's pose. So take your knees kind of wide, send your hips back. Walk those hands forward, drop your head to the ground. Walk your fingertips forward. You should feel a nice stretch through the back here and through the shoulders. Walk your hands over to the other side. And a little deeper stretch through one arm. I encourage you to not skip this part of the workout. This is a really important part of your workout, the stretching. Walk your hands over to the other side. Get that deep stretch in the other arm, other shoulder. So often people are in such a rush. We skip things like this because they don't feel important. You don't feel the burn like you've been feeling. But your body needs this. Give your body what it needs. I want you to come up to just a comfortable seated position, maybe cross-legged. And then take your hands on your knees, and I just want you to round your spine, tuck your chin here. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Great job. Okay, bring it on up. Bring one arm up, bend the elbow, pull down on that elbow. Give those triceps some love. Let's say our verse one last time here during the cool down. Psalm 38:9. Lord, all my desires is before you, and my sighing is not hidden from you. He's got you. The verse is for you. Go ahead, switch. He hears you. He knows you. He created you. He knows your inmost desires. He knows the plans he has for you. You all know the verse, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Take those hands together, bring them behind the head, and just push out the chest until you feel a stretch through the chest and the arms. He knows what you're struggling with. He knows what burdens you. Lay it down at his feet. Unclench your grip on whatever it is weighing you down. Let him take it from you. You don't have to carry that burden anymore. I like to say this analogy. Think of God as having a desk, and you have a desk next to him. He's your boss, right? Pull one arm across. So sometimes we like to head over to God's desk and take his paperwork and start working on it. But a lot of times we don't even know how to do it. It feels overwhelming. It feels hard. And God's saying to you, that was never your work to do. Put it back on my desk. I already have an assignment for you right there on your desk. Work on that. Go ahead, switch. But sometimes we feel the need to take things that are out of our control and put them into our control. We're all guilty of it. I don't care who you are. We've all done it at least once, if not like 1,000 times in our life. Go ahead and rest. Whether that's with a family member that you wish was saved and wasn't, whether it's somebody living a life that you wish you could change, release them, give them over to God. No matter how much you care for them, he cares immensely more, okay? Trust him. Your words do not go empty. And I want to encourage this. I don't know if you've heard this before. Maybe you have. Maybe this is just a repeat. But say your prayers out loud. There is power in your words. Angels move on your behalf when you speak, when you ask God for help. That's not to say your unspoken prayers don't get answered, because they do. But I encourage you. Proclaim God's goodness. Yell at the enemy. Tell him to get out of your house. I don't know if you've ever seen, I think it's War Room, where she tells the devil to get out of her house. She walks him right through the front door. Do that. Get him out of your house. Don't let him live there anymore. Okay? That's just my encouragement for you today. So I'm going to leave you all with this quick prayer. Heavenly Father, please be with each and every person who is doing this workout with me. Lord, bless their lives. Be so abundantly clear with their purpose and direction in life. Let them know you. Let them feel you. Let them seek you, Lord. I ask this in God's awesome and holy name. Amen. All right. I will see you next time. Keep pushing yourself. I'm so proud of you. See you later.